Okay, I am excited that I get to host, well, I guess, start today's call. After Summit, we decided that we wanted to focus August on keeping momentum because you get done with Summit and you have this surge of excitement and momentum. And then once you get home, you're like, now what? How do I implement that? So we are going to have with us today Miranda Maenza, sorry. And she's going to talk to us about just keeping that momentum going. She is the founder of Strong Her United. I love that, by the way. She is a 2-star diamond coach. She was a 2015 Premier Coach, a Beachbody Challenge winner, a 22-minute hard corpse test group participant, and a 6-figure income earner. So she is going to have so much to share for us. So tune in, and I'll turn the time over to you.
I don't know. Do you have the YouTube screen up? I don't know. I was going to try to get it to make sure you guys can hear me. I'll check.
I can hear you. You're good.
Okay, you can? Okay, perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm Miranda Maenza. I am under Brittany Leggett. She is my friend and sponsor under Dynasty United, and then I have my team, Stronger United. And a lot of times I like to ask, and I get asked, when was my turning point in my business? When did things really start picking up? And I can tell you it was when I wasn't even in this country. I was living in the Caribbean for a year with limited internet access. And for some reason, I'm like, that's when I went to 2-star. That's when things kind of exploded in my business. And a word that I use, that's my word of the year, is intentional. And so the turning point in my business was when I was intentional. And I figured that this call would be great to go over leaving the drift and living forward, because August is such a crucial month. I guess I'll leave my face on there for now, but August is such a crucial month because it's a time where we really have to dig in and get ready for fourth quarter. It's a time where when other people are sleeping or taking their last vacation before school starts, or just relaxing in general, you start seeing emails that are, auto response. That's when you want to dig in and go, go, go. Become the fourth quarter team is what I like to call it, even though we're not in the fourth quarter. But when teams start to slow down, you can tell the defense starts getting tired. The offense isn't running as hard. However you want to pick, whatever analogy you want to pick. It's the time to really dig in and move forward. And I want to talk about that because I am even using it to talk to myself, and I pump up myself with this all the time. Again, being intentional about my thoughts, about my actions, and really remembering to get back to the basics, to really dig into what works and moving forward instead of drifting. And I'll talk about that. I'm going to pull up my notes really quick. So I want to say hi. Thanks for being here. First of all, I know you're taking time out of your day. So I'm truly honored that you are here right now. And I always say that because it really is. I come to share my heart. And at the same time, you have to take time away from your day, from your family, or maybe they're right here with you like my little nugget is. He just scared me a second ago. But a quote that comes to mind is, when you get clear on the what, the how starts showing up. And I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about visualizing. I'm going to talk about how you want to be remembered. All important things when it comes to finding that strength, finding that reason to leave the drift and start living forward. So let me share my screen. I hope it works. And I am for sure a preacher style. So that's what you're going to get from me. Let me go full screen. Hopefully it's working. I will check my messages just to make sure.
You're good. Michaela wasn't able to log on, so I can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So like I said, what comes to mind when you get clear on the what, the how starts showing up. And when life gets crazy, through the craziness of it all, in life and in business, we can start drifting. And what I mean by that is we get so far away from our end goal, we have to start swimming against the current to get back to where we need to be. If you've ever been snorkeling or just, drifting down a river, floating down a river, or I don't know, even if you like fall off a jet ski and you look up and you're all of a sudden way far away from a boat. You didn't even mean to. You thought maybe you were swimming close to it, or maybe you were just relaxing, maybe swimming down to see some fish that, down in the reef, whatever it may be. You look up and all of a sudden you're far away and you've got to swim like a mile to get back to the boat, to get back to shore. And that's what that talks about. We can do that in life. We're over halfway of 2016. And like I said, August is such a crucial month. It's time to refocus, evaluate, reflect, create your vision, and become relentless in your pursuit of it. Whether you went to Summit or not, don't use that you didn't go to Summit as an excuse. There's so much that's posted in Beachbody 411, Carl Deichler's page, even I'm sure your team's page that was shared there, of products that are coming, of new programs, shows even on demand, and just all kinds of things coming up that you can be excited about, that you can create interest groups for. And sneak peeks and live webinars. Like, you can dig in whether you were there or not, and just be excited about next year, about New Orleans. Hello, like, use that. That's incredible and exciting. Like, I've already been looking at places to stay, got my ticket, and I'm sharing that, hey, I've been wanting to go there. I'm looking for people to come with me. Like, I don't want to go alone. I want to share this experience with anybody. And in terms of drifting, like, you don't wake up and all of a sudden say, hey, I'm just going to stop taking care of myself and gain 15 pounds. Sounds good today. And then all of a sudden 15 pounds just show up. No, it's that extra 2 cookies there. It's the too many chips late at night. It's the not waking up and doing your workouts. It's skipping 1, 2 a week, 2 weeks, a month because of summer vacation and activities, or just life getting crazy. And then the 15 pounds show up, and you've got to swim against the current to get back to that after picture that you worked so hard for, or to get back to where you wanted to be. You don't wake up and say, I'll just stop posting invites today. Maybe you do. That'd be sad. Don't do that. But you don't wake up and say, I'm not going to hit Success Club 5 next month, Success Club 10. You start drifting. You start posting less. You start forgetting to post your workouts, or awesome foods you ate, or just inviting in general to what's coming. And then all of a sudden Success Club 5 is the hardest thing ever to get. Why? Because you stop that funnel system. Now you're rushing, swimming against the current to get all these conversations going, and then you're rushing them to get the invite in, and then it's not sincere, it's not genuine, and they're going to feel it. And you have to swim against the current to get that momentum going. You don't also say, you're going to stop loving yourself. It just comes. You start, talking negatively against yourself. You start saying things that aren't true, but you're feeling it. And so you keep telling yourself, and then the self-love stops, and you've got to swim against the current to get that confidence back again. Start living intentionally, you guys. Create a life plan and create your own outcomes. You can do that. It's up to you. Don't blame anybody else. Don't play the victim, and start discovering and figuring out how you can become the victor. It is you. I know people can attack you. I know that there can be all kinds of people and situations and circumstances around you, because I've been there. I was self-destructive myself, and I was still trying to play the victim. But when I decided to take it into my own hands and create my own outcomes, that's when things started to change. When I started to leave the drift and start living forward. You never drift to a destination that you would have chosen. You're going to a place you don't want to be. You can't control it. You won't land in success. It might happen. You might get lucky, and 3 people that you talked to 4 months ago will say, I'm finally ready, and you hit Success Club 6. But you could have been at 10, you could have been at 15 if you would have been working the business, if you would have been doing what you're supposed to do and not drifting. So you might have success, but nowhere near where you could be. So that being said, I want to ask you some questions, or I want to pose you with some questions that you can ask yourself. And it's going to help you figure out the what, so that the how starts showing up. It's figuring out your true north so that you really start working towards your goals. And the first one is, how do you want to be remembered? I know it sounds crazy, right? It says start with the end in mind, but act as if you were an invisible guest at your own funeral. You're like, what? Why would I think about that? That's sad, a sad moment. But no, literally think about it. What would your friends and family say about you? What would you want them to say? That's what you think about, right? Because when you do think about that, you start nourishing those relationships today of how you want them to remember you, how you want them to feel about you. How do you want your challengers to feel about you? How do you want your family? How do you want your friends? You think about that and you start acting differently because you don't want them to remember you as a negative person or treated them this way, dishonest, whatever it is. One, don't be embarrassed about that. Evaluate it. Like I said, refocus and figure out how you can change those things, how you can get them to remember you as the person that you truly are, a beautiful person that loves them. And how the best way I, like to think about that, in our business, it's like, how do you want them to think of you? Do you want to think of you as a coach that sold them this challenge pack? Like they got some great products sitting on their counter, sitting on their shelf, just waiting to be used. And thank goodness you got it for them. Or do you want them to remember you as someone who made a positive impact on their life, help them get off meds, help them become the best version of themselves in all areas of their life because you encouraged them and inspired them and stayed with them every step of their journey, right? So one way to do that and visualize that to really help your actions change and be in line with who you want to be and who you want to be remembered is creating legacy statements. They're almost like visualization statements, but legacies are something that are left within someone. It goes deeper than just how you're remembered. It's how someone, you instill this in them. They remember this and it's in them. It's something that becomes a part of them that you leave behind. So, I have my son, I have my team, and I have my challengers. This could go with parents, this could go with friends. It goes way beyond that. I have way more. But I have, I just put a little snippet of what I have so that you can think of your own and create your own. For my son, I want him to remember how I loved him, how I understood and listened to his heart and never let him feel like he couldn't go after any dreams. My team, I want them to remember my heart and passion for the success. I want them to thrive in an environment created to breed more success toward their goals. Challengers, I want them to remember my authenticity and passion for helping them find health, confidence, and love for themselves through health and fitness. I want them to remember that. I want them to know that they always had support and encouragement and belief from me. And it can go on and on, keep going, but remembering that and literally reading those every single day changes how I am throughout the day. It changes my actions. I want to get those things done for my team, for my challengers, for my son, because I want that to be reality. And you write that, you can write it in present tense, or you can say, I want, however you want to do it, but do it. Write those legacy statements. Put them somewhere where you can see them. Put them with your work stuff. I've got lists right here, and it's in my phone in my team call notes, and I read them. Also, another question to ask yourself when you're in this, which is so, so important because we're in a business that can take over if we let it. This business is supposed to fit into our life, not take it over, but it can take it over if you let it. And how you can avoid that is asking yourself, what matters most to you? For me, it's faith, myself, and you're like, put yourself first. And the quote at the bottom, which will kind of put this in perspective, is there is urgent and there is important. Sometimes the urgent shows up as important, but it isn't. And I'll kind of share a quick story about that. So there's this man, I listened to it on podcasts, and he was going on vacation with his wife. It'd been so long since they've been. He's a CEO, owns his own company, so it's been a while. He's on it. He gets a call like on the way there. Hey, we need to meet, or an email. We need to meet. It was his partners. We got to meet in person. We got to go over some things. Long story short, he's sitting there. He closes his laptop, and he's just crushed. He's like, man, my wife and I have been waiting for this vacation, and all of a sudden getting this urgent but not important email saying, come in right now. So he decides, you know what? No. You know why? Because he has what matters most to him. He has what's important to him. He's got it laid out. And that helped him have the courage, to have clarity on what's important. So it gave him the courage to say no. He told his team, you know what? Handle this. Fill me in, handle this, and fill me in, because I'm not taking away from my wife and I's vacation. And the outcome, it was exactly what he needed to do, because his team and call them and let them know, like, hey, this was something that could have been chatted over email. They didn't even need to be here. You definitely didn't need to be here, so we're glad you didn't cut your vacation short. And he was left feeling a whole lot better. His heart was fine, his marriage was fine, his life was fine, everything was great. And it's because he had his priorities in line and he was able to make a major life decision and have the courage to say no, because he had clarity on what's important, and that's important for us. So in our instance, you know, is a coach issue more important than helping your child with homework or being present during your family vacation? And I always think about that. Is it something they can find on YouTube, on Google, in the FAQ, which we all know everything can be found in there. Even which placement does take priority in my book, in a business sense, not in front of what matters most to me. But even that can wait at least 24 hours because it's not an important, urgent matter, because there is like what, 72 to like 5 days, 72 hours to 5 days to switch someone to a different leg. So they can wait at least 24 hours, or at least wait until late at night when family's asleep for you to get back and answer that question and look up the issue. But I promise you, if you let your coaches wait, they will find the answer. Because many, many times I look at a message and I'm like, I know that they can find that. So I'll either say, check that FAQ, look on my YouTube, look on a coach's YouTube, or I will wait and I'll get an email back an hour later. Never mind, I found it. And it either didn't take time from my business, from myself, from my faith, from my family. And they were able to find it and stay independent and get what they needed. So remember what's important to you. Figure that out, list them out, and make sure that nothing comes before the other. And the one that's super, super important, y'all, and it's where you got to get real with yourself and really evaluate. You don't have to do it on your own either. Ask your coach. I still ask Brittany. And I will forever ask Brittany, even when I'm up to 15 star. If I feel like I am, you know, either coasting or stuck or just dry, my posts are just, ugh, I'll have her go look at my page and be like, what's going wrong? Or maybe people aren't coming to me as much or something. And she'll look at my volume. She'll look at my page. She'll look at everything. Even conversations, and she'll evaluate with me. And that's having a mindset and a focus of finding solutions. So I'm not just going to sit there and be like, oh, this isn't working, and start coasting and stop posting and blame everybody else. No, I'm going to figure out what I am doing, and then I'm going to figure out what I can do. And then I'm going to commit to it until something changes. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to find out another solution and commit to it until something changes. But just to sit there and say it doesn't work, well, of course, it doesn't work. But figure out how it can work. Don't just start coasting, because then you're going to be swimming against the current. So just kind of like the legacy statements, envisioning future statements are super important. If you were in Brittany's session at Summit, then you heard her talk about it, because she literally is the one that has made me do this. And it's what I was intentional about. And when I am intentional about it, things change. And it's sometimes you don't even notice it. But when you have these future statements and you start saying them, you're like, I gotta live this. And subconsciously, you start doing things to make sure that you do. So I have one example up here for my team, but I'll go through and read all of them fast. But my team, and you definitely do this in present tense. We are a strong, united team pushing for our goals and team goals together as a unit, thriving as a community and living forward. We are empowering others to live healthy lives and find courage to pursue their dreams. We feel renewed because we are part of something bigger than ourselves, working with our passion and fulfilling purpose. And in life, I put, I'm living free. My heart is full. My soul is fulfilled because I'm debt-free and able to help my family feel financially stable. We live in our dream area with little man in a great school. He is pursuing his dream of race car driving. He looked at me. And I am able to go after new hobbies and feed my wanderlust soul by traveling the unknown. And health, I put something short because I got to finish it. My body is at its healthiest. My mind is at peace. And because of that, my life has found balance. So, when you do that, you create those statements, okay? And then you're like, now I got to get there. Okay, admit where you are. Admit it. Talk with your coach, talk with family, talk with friends, get deep with yourself and soul searching, and admit where you are. Get real, deep, and honest. And and it'll open up the door. It won't feel good. It won't feel good all the time, but take the constructive criticism. Don't get butthurt. Just take it and use it to change, because it'll open up the door for you to know what you work on while you keep moving forward, okay? And it's gonna continually change. So don't get butthurt when you do ask for the advice. Ask for it, soak it in, and don't say, okay, I'll try, because that's a punch in the face to people that are trying to help you. Say, okay, I see this, I'm gonna work on it. Don't say, okay, I tried, and act like what they said isn't really what you needed, because from the outside looking in, I guarantee if they're telling you this advice, it's not to hurt you, it's to help you, and they can see the bigger picture sometimes more than you can. So take it and run with it, move forward with it. And then identify the commitments you're willing to make to take you from where you are to where you want to be, to those future statements. Think about your WIGs, your wildly important goals, and then what you'll do every single day to get there. I have another call on my YouTube, Miranda Maenza, about being intentional. And I feel like that's like the next step. Like after you realize I've been drifting, or I need to make changes, or I need to figure out where I want to go, future statements, that's the call to go to next, because it kind of goes over actions that you do now, actions that you do later. And it's really helpful in like that being intentional and being like, okay, I know what my wildly important goals are. I know what my future statements are and where I want to be. And now I want to commit to doing these things every single day. It'll help you find your like 6 to 10 activities that you want to do every day. So you can check that out if you want to. And then these are not your non-negotiables that move you forward. Okay, so I am going to encourage you that you need to spend the day figuring out what you want in this business and life, and use it to direct you, motivate you, and fuel you. You can't start now and create a new beginning, but you can start now and create a new ending. Is it going to be easy? No, I'm not going to tell you it is. It's going to suck. I don't like waking up in the morning. I hate waking up in the morning. I'll be real. I literally sometimes have to roll out of bed, literally slide out of bed. But something I say to myself is like, this is what an elite coach would do. This is what a 5-star coach would do, a 6-star, 7-star coach would do. And I get my butt up and I do it. I don't want to work out every day, but I am the product of the product. I am my own billboard, and I want people asking me. I just had someone from 2 years ago who was a customer, went ghost on me, would be awesome coach, but 2 years later coming to me saying, let's talk. Send her a webinar so that she can get some of her questions answered, and we're going to hop on the phone and talk. And she's totally a dream coach, was on her own journey doing amazing things, and now she's coming back to me 2 years later because she sees me staying consistent, working this business, going hard, still having results, and she knows that she can count on me, and she's here. So stick with it. Stay consistent. If you start drifting, get back on. Apologize to yourself. Apologize to your goals. Sit down with your family and let them know, hey, I'm going after these things. I'm going to need some time for this, this, and this, so you don't have that mom guilt, parents, dad guilt. I don't know if there's any dudes on here that are dads, but sit down and then go after it and don't give up. Follow me if you want. I always post, motivational stuff and try to add value. Go on my YouTube for videos, whatever it is. You've got plenty of resources out there. You've got my support. I'm cheering you on always, always, always. You can ask me questions as long as you can't find it in FAQ. Wink, wink. But no, that's all I have. I don't know if there's questions. I'm going to try to hop on the YouTube thing and see if there's any questions, and I will answer them. Let me mute myself so it's not echoing.
I'm not sure we get a whole lot of questions. Are there any there?
Worries.
Were there any questions there? Sorry.
Yeah, I can't really see anything in the chat box, so if there are any, then you can ask me later, or Michaela can forward them to me or something. But yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Michaela always says she has pages and pages of notes when she's done with, hosting a call. And it's true. I do. I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was just being intentional. You have to know where you're going if you're going to get anywhere. So just And I liked the part about don't just say you'll try, but actually do it. I have lists and lists of things that I want to do that I never get around to doing. So I just need to buck up and make it my business and just do it because that's what I want. So thank you, Miranda, for taking time out of your day to speak to us, and we will see you around.
Bye, everybody.